In this lesson, you're going to learn how to graph linear functions. Here are the standards that focus on this concept. In terms to note, x-intercept is the point A0 at which the graph of the line intersects the x-axis. Y-intercept is the point 0b at which the graph intersects the y-axis. In behavior is the behavior of a graph that is followed farther and farther in either direction. Maximum value, the point of graph that has the greatest y or f of x value. And then minimum value is the point on a graph that has the least y or f of x value. Look at the graph f of x equals 2x minus 4. It has a y-intercept of -4 and an x-intercept of 2, 0. So an x-intercept of 2. The domain of a linear function with no restrictions is the set of real numbers, meaning it goes on forever. The domain of f of x equals 2x minus 4, graphed in the previous slide, is all real numbers. That means the range is also all real numbers in this problem. Restrictions. Just like different things in life where you can restrict things, that's how this is going to work. The domain and range of a linear function may be restricted. If the linear function f of x equals 2x minus 4 is restricted so that it starts at the point 2, 0, that means that's where it's going to start. The domain is the set of real numbers x such that x is greater than or equal to 2. The range that corresponds to the restricted domain is the set of real numbers f of x or y such f of x and y is greater than or equal to 0. In behavior, a linear function can also be described in terms of its end behavior. In the graph f of x equals 2x minus 4, the arrow on the right end of the line shows that as x increases, y also does as well. Since the value of y is continuously increasing, this function has no maximum value because it keeps going on forever. The arrow on the left end of the line shows that as x decreases, y also continuously decreases. This function has no minimum value because it keeps going on forever. If the domain of f of x equals 2x minus 4 is restricted so that the graph only includes the intercepts, the domain is 0 less than or equal to x less than or equal to, and the range is -4 is less than or equal to y, which is less than or equal to 0, and the function has a minimum value of -4 and a maximum value of 0 because this is where y ends. That is the minimum. That's as small as it'll get because of the restrictions, and this is the maximum, 0. The domain of a linear function is -1 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 2. The function has an x-intercept at 1, 0. That's where it's hitting the x-axis, and a y-intercept at 0, -3. You first step graph the function, then identify the maximum, minimum, range, and intervals of increase or decrease for the function. First step, graph the function. Pay attention to the restricted domain. Describe the function's minimum, maximum, and range. So, number 2, I'm not going to graph it. You know how to graph an equation. The highest point of the graph is 2, 3. Pay attention to the 3. That's the y value. That means the maximum value is 3. The range is all values of y greater than or equal to the minimum, -6, and less than or equal to the maximum 3. This can be represented as -6 is less than or equal to y, less than or equal to 3, and also the function increases